Hi, my name's Leah, and I'm a life and relationship transition coach. I help people to trust themselves through big life changes that can be really confusing to navigate. The topic that I wanted to talk about today is how you might be gaslighting yourself. And I know the term gaslighting is something that I've been hearing a lot of lately that I think, sometimes these terms get thrown around and it's like, oh my gosh, what does that even mean? And why is it being so overused? And it kind of like waters down the actual importance of knowing what that word even means. So let me go ahead and break down what gaslighting means first. I'm literally going to look it up on on Google just so I get it right. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which the abuser attempts to sow self doubt and confusion in their victim's mind. Typically, gaslighters are seeking to gain power and control over the other person by distorting reality and forcing them to question their own judgment and intuition. So you can see why gaslighting is such an important part of the work that I do because I help people to trust themselves. Whereas gaslighting is a way that people lose trust in themselves. So this topic is very near and dear to my heart. And without, getting too much into the weeds of someone else doing this to you, I think that, we're all sort of the gatekeeper of our own truth. And I think because of that, when we are ignoring our own truths and potentially being manipulated by other people, there is also a form of gaslighting ourselves that happens where we are not necessarily manipulating ourselves, but we're definitely minimizing or doubting what it is that we know to be true deep down within us. So I'm just going to kind of rattle off today a few things that I've worked with clients before. I've worked at myself, and maybe some of these might resonate and help you to sort of pinpoint ways that you can stop gaslighting yourself. So one of the ways that really comes to mind is this: the use of our language is really important, and the phrase that I'm thinking of is "I don't know." So a lot of people use that phrase, I don't know, at the end of a lot of the sentences they use where they're not quite certain about what it is that they're saying. But the things that they're saying are not, um, they're not, they're factual. So what I'm talking about is like when you're expressing your feelings or when you're expressing your wants and needs and then finishing that sentence with, I don't know, you're kind of asking permission from someone else if what you're feeling is correct or what you're wanting or desiring or needing is correct. Um, it's it's something that I actually see a lot of with my clients is sort of is that tendency to really just trail off at the end of their sentences. And when I hear that, I don't know. So let me give you an example. Yeah, I'm feeling just really overwhelmed at work and it's just taking a lot out of me. I don't know. So maybe you've heard yourself say this before. I definitely have heard myself say this before. Try and omit I don't know out of your vocabulary unless you truly do not know the answer, which, obviously we can use I don't know in those cases, but not in the case of expressing yourself and your feelings and, what it is that's actually true for you. So, another thing that I have also become aware of in terms of gaslighting ourselves is apologizing too much. So, this is not necessarily the textbook gaslighting that you might think. This is a little more covert. But when we apologize a lot for things like simply, being alive or being a part of a conversation or stating what it is that we want or need. So what I mean by this is I'm sorry, but I just don't feel good about that. Or if you're trying to express it, I don't feel good about that. I'm sorry. Sort of like kind of backing down away from the feelings and the thoughts and opinions that you very much deserve to have, and then following that by an apology is really a big squash to the validity of what it is that you're trying to express. So try and also not apologize, um, unless you're actually truly sorry for what you've done and there is somebody that is deserving of that apology. I think cutting in with too many apologies like really, really waters things down. The third and final thing that I want to mention too, in terms of gaslighting and self doubt, is when we ask too many people for their opinions about what it is that we should be feeling. So this can sound like, I'm really angry. Is that weird? Or I'm feeling really, really upset. Is that okay? So there's that asking again for permission to feel, to be human, to live, and feeling not okay, being angry, being upset, um, being unsure of something, even, and saying like, I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. Uh, is that okay? It's a little too much, too passive, too passive. And when you're trying to develop a level of self-trust and a a deeper knowing of what it is that's going on inside of you, you have to stop gaslighting yourself. You have to let yourself speak and let there be a period after the things that you're feeling and saying. Um, Unless you're trying to get someone else's perspective on something, but this shouldn't be, having someone else's perspective on how you're feeling is not appropriate. Um, it's You're almost leaving space for someone else to tell you what your truth is, and in turn you're gaslighting yourself. So I hope these were helpful. I would love to know any other ways that you have caught yourself gaslighting yourself, or that maybe if some of these have resonated with you. I'd love to know that too. Otherwise, try and lean into that period at the end of your sentences when you're expressing your feelings and thoughts and opinions. And it's going to start to shift the way that you're really showing up and speaking and being heard by other people as well. All right, stay well and take care.